Hello guys, this is Naruto-kun and we are back with our new fanfic, which is What If Sage Naruto Found His Destiny Within Maid Terumi Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and please subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to upload more fanfic like these for you all. Now let's start the fanfiction. Naruto doubles over, panting with sweat dripping from his face. He grits his teeth and forces his bruised body to stand straight, despite the severe beating he is getting. He is sparring with Jiraiya and right now, he is losing very badly. While he has come a long way in the last few weeks, he is nowhere near Sannin level. He has chakra weights on as well as a resistance seal, making his limbs not only much heavier but making it harder to move, resulting in the toning of his body and a massive increase in speed. His chakra control skyrocketed with all the constant exercises he has been doing. 2 weeks in, he upgraded to kunai balancing. But not just kunai balancing, these kunai had a special weight seals inscribed on them. Jiraiya would make clones of his own and randomly add or take away chakra to each seal or multiple seals at the same time, making it very difficult to keep the right amount. The result is his reflexes in using chakra as well as being able to control chakra outside his body to grow immensely. His kenjutsu is also going well. Since the concept of using a sword is completely foreign to him, this particular skill set is taking the longest to adapt to. But through sheer mind-numbing repetitions, he is progressing at a steady rate. Hey, pay attention. Wah! Was all Naruto could get out before he starts flying on the Jiraiya's foot in Face Express. A red imprint of Jiraiya's foot appears on Naruto's face as he flies back, spit trailing in the air. He hits the ground after 20 feet or so and slides to a stop. I told you to stop daydreaming in the middle of a spar. Idiot. Oh yeah, that's something new too. Ever since Jiraiya altered the seal, that was fun to explain and convince Jiraiya to do it. It had some unexpected results, one being that Kyuubi now can talk to him without having to go into the mindscape. Another is that his healing factor increased dramatically, allowing him to have a full workout every day and allowing his muscles to heal after tearing and the lactic acid to not build up as much. Naruto lies on the ground, waiting for his healing factor to make it possible to sit up. Jiraiya calmly walks over to Naruto and leans over him, blocking out the sun. Hey Gaki, you need to stop spacing out. It could be hazardous to your health. Naruto just groans. Great. First fuzz ball here, now you. Jiraiya chuckles and helps Naruto to his feet. Well now, then you have some pretty good advice and I suggest you listen to it if you don't want to end up with injuries that take a few minutes to heal. Naruto is about to make a remark when he suddenly stops. It seems my clones are done cataloging all the scrolls. You just now finished that? Jiraiya asks blankly. A tick mark appears on Naruto's head. You try sorting through thousands of scrolls and see how long it takes you. And besides, I had to create my own storage seals, so I had to learn how to do that first. Jiraiya shakes his head clear. Whatever. How is your elemental chakra coming? Naruto sighs. While I can manipulate fire, I can't seem to use fire chakra. The only thing I can guess is that these tombs just give you the availability to manipulate the raw element, not use the elemental chakra that creates it. I will have to wait for the Rinnegan first before I can create fire. That is if we ever break that damn riddle. They set aside a few minutes each day thinking about it, but not too hard. They are in no hurry as it is less than a month in on a 3-year trip. Jiraiya nods in agreement. They begin to walk back to the campsite when Jiraiya turns to Naruto when a falcon lands on Jiraiya's shoulder. He reads the message the falcon is carrying before burning it and sending the falcon back. That was from Tsunade. Apparently Sasuke is with Orochimaru. On the way to being sealed, he somehow broke free and with Kabuto and a few Oto ninjas, they fled and the retrieval team was unsuccessful. Naruto just shrugs. Oh well, looks I may get to repay him for those holes he put in my chest. Jiraiya looks at Naruto with sympathy. No kid should have to talk like that, especially not with his apathetic tone, like it is an everyday occurrence that he gets stabbed in the back. Hey Gaki, at the end of this week we will be moving on. I think our next destination will be Suna. They can teach you mind manipulation better than me, and the physical training will be intensive as well as learning to cope with that kind of environment. When we get there, we will also devise a new training schedule. Naruto groans. That just means more pain of his muscles tearing and dehydra. A light bulb goes off his head. He stops walking, making Jiraiya look at him with a curious expression. Gaki. Naruto. He repeats after not getting a response from the first one. Naruto walks up to Jiraiya. I think I figured it out. So it means. Time skip 3 years. Naruto jumps along the trees, grumbling about his current mission. While Tsunade never said that she wouldn't send him on a mission like this before he left, he got the sense that she wouldn't. Nonetheless, he isn't happy about it, but complies because of the mission parameters. Flashback -1 month. Hokage office. You want me to do what? Naruto says, showing more emotion in those 2 words in the entire 3 years he was away. Tsunade gives him a look that could kill. You heard me. Sasori gave up the time and location to meet one of his spies within Orochimaru's organization. You are going. It's not the mission I'm complaining about. It's the company. Tsunade sighs. The Gaara rescue team had just returned. She had sent Kakashi, Naruto, Guy, Kurenai, Anko, and Asuma to save Gaara. They had just made it there just before the Ikibi was extracted, saving Gaara's life, then fending off Akatsuki. The result is Sasori is dead and Deidara is severely injured from a missing arm thanks to Asuma and his trench knives. Team 7 is assigned to the mission, but since Kakashi is having a problem with his Sharingan, an Anbu member will take his place. Naruto has no desire to see the girl who caused him so many problems. I know you don't want to go, but your job is just to shadow and provide backup if things get out of hand. And even if they do, with your mask nobody will recognize you. Once you obtain the information, return with Team 7 for debriefing. She does have a point. Nobody will recognize me, and with my several growth spurts thanks to the foxes and my techniques that technically don't exist anymore, things will be tolerable. Fine, but you owe me. Naruto looks out her window over the hell of a village that he somehow still wants to protect. Tsunade smiles. Good. You leave in 1 week. Just stick to the shadows and hopefully you will not have to make yourself known. But Murphy's Law always bites the ass at the worst possible times. End flashback. Naruto feels the group ahead stop. Behind his Anbu mask, he channels chakra into his eyes, enhancing his vision. Since his induction into Anbu upon returning to Konoha almost 2 months ago, he wears the standard Anbu gear, but with his divine sword strapped to his waist. His mask is that of an owl. He wanted a fox, but Tsunade thought that was too obvious. Underneath that though, he still has on his clan armor that he always wears wherever he goes, even if he is in Konoha. Team 7 stops at a very long bridge to discuss what is going to happen. Using his chakra-enhanced senses, he listens in on the briefing. So Tenzo or Yamato is going to create a wooden puppet and masquerade as Sasori and hopefully get the information. Team 7 replaced him with a kid named Sai, an ex-member of Root. He was captured during the raid, but unfortunately, Danzo himself got away by sacrificing all of his Root members to stall and give him time to get away. The seal on his tongue was removed, allowing him free speech, and his emotionless facade is starting to come down. The other new member is someone who graduated a year after them. His name is Fugaki Hitotake, Fugaki Hitotake. He replaces Sasuke on the team. He is from a civilian home and is more like Rock Lee, being a halfway genius of hard work. An hour later, Naruto is watching over the mixture of Genin and Chunin, waiting for something to happen. Then a person starts across the bridge and stops in the middle of it. Naruto narrows his eyes at the person he recognizes as Kabuto. Yamato waits about 10 minutes before going out in his disguise. Naruto can barely make out the conversation over the long distance, but he hears it in case something happens to Yamato and is unable to retell the information. That's when the shit hits the fan. The snake bastard himself appears and Yamato gets the top of his puppet slashed off by a chakra scalpel. Almost instantly, the lower-ranked team members run to Yamato to back him up. Naruto curses. This isn't going to end well. None of them are going to be able to even hold off Orochimaru, making Naruto break his cover. Naruto disappears in a shunshin and appears between the two groups, surprising the Konoha team. Who are you? Yamato asks cautiously. I am Owl, Konohagakure Anbu, Naruto replies. Owl? I've never heard of Owl. Comments Yamato. I am a new addition. Hokage-sama sent me as backup in case things got out of hand. I will hold them off. Retreat across the bridge, Naruto says in his monotone voice of the past 3 years. What? You can't fight against a Sannin by yourself. You'll get yourself killed, yells Sakura. Naruto tries not to wince at her scream, but isn't successful. Please do as I ask. I am the only one here capable of doing this, Naruto says as he frees his hands. He flies through a few hand signs. Onetsuse. Enko no Ryujin. Thermal release. Flames of the Dragon King. A white flame shoots out of his mouth at astounding speeds. It covers the entire width of the 20 feet that make up the width of the bridge and 4 times as long. This flame forces Kabuto and Orochimaru to shunshin back to the end of the bridge. Naruto is about to follow them when Yamato puts a hand on his shoulder. I will go with you. As an Anbu myself, I am curious to know what you can do. I also want to help you so you don't have to fight a 2-on-1. Naruto rolls it over in his head for a while. Alright Tenzo, but Orochimaru is mine as I am the closest to him in abilities if not equal. Naruto jumps off after them while Yamato tells Team 7 to stay on the far side of the bridge before jumping after Owl. Owl runs through some hand signs, not that he needs to, but to hide his true abilities, and channels his chakra. Futon. Kami Oroshi. Wind release. Godly wine from the mountain. A blast of wind pummels Orochimaru and Kabuto, but it is far stronger than either anticipated and both are flung back with Naruto chasing the snake himself. Orochimaru hits the ground and regains his composure and feels someone heading towards him. He recognizes it as the Anbu and he obviously is no ordinary shinobi to use a sub-element like that and does a few hand signs. Kuchio's no jutsu. Summoning technique. A 10-story purple snake appears with Orochimaru on his head. You better have my sacrifices or I'm leaving. Manda hisses. Just then Naruto enters the clearing created by Manda. Naruto takes one look at the boss summons and knows that to fight both of them at the same time is pressing his luck, so he decides to level the playing field. He pulls back his sleeve, revealing the upper part of the gauntlet and smears blood from his recently bit thumb on a seal. Kuchio's no jutsu, he says. An enormous puff of smoke reveals a dragon about 3/4 the size of Manda. Its scales are pale blue with 4 legs and large leathery wings protruding from its back, think Western-style dragon not an Asian. Naruto stands on its head, staring down Orochimaru. For what purpose have I been summoned? Booms the dragon. I thought you might like a snack, Hitomi-sama. That's Manda, the snake boss summons. And on top of him is Orochimaru, biggest pedophile in the elemental nations. Oh, did I mention that he likes male children? Now Hitomi is a mother of several generations, meaning that motherly instincts are very strong. This gets her blood boiling. Smoke unconsciously pours from her snout as she bares her fangs at the duo. Come hatchling. We have someone to kill. She beats her wings with tremendous force and they become airborne. She takes a diving swipe at Orochimaru. Manda, not wanting to die, moves out of the way. He hisses angrily at Orochimaru. What the hell? You summoned me to a fight with the Dragon Clan. I will require 200 more sacrifices for this and pray that I don't kill you myself. Meanwhile, Hitomi is circling around for another strafe. Hitomi-sama, give me some fire. With pleasure. Hitomi takes in a deep breath and breathes out a flood of fire, much larger than any human can ever hope of making. Not bothering with the hand signs this time, Naruto channels his chakra. Futon. Astugai. Wind release. Pressure damage. A huge tornado erupts right in front of Flames, turning it from a tornado to a fire cyclone as Naruto directs the attack right at Manda and Orochimaru. After a full minute of the attack, Hitomi and Naruto let the attack die down. Where the cyclone was is just a large patch of burnt and charred land. Hitomi lands on the ground and Naruto hops off. As soon as Naruto touches the ground, Manda bursts from the ground and coils himself around Hitomi. She lets out a roar and Manda sinks his teeth into her from an angle that her scales don't protect from. Naruto watches in horror as she shakes Manda off, but the damage had already been done. Hitomi-sama, Naruto shouts. Kukukuku. Did you really think that it would be so easy to beat me? Naruto turns to see Orochimaru walking calmly towards him. Another roar out of Hitomi forces Naruto to look back. Somehow Hitomi had turned in Manda's vice grip and is proceeding to scratch, burn, and bite at Manda's head. Manda rears back and bites her neck. In a giant puff of smoke, she disappears. It seems that your boss summons is not as powerful as mine. Naruto smirk. Hitomi isn't the boss summons. I just summoned her because she hates perverts and especially pedophiles. I just hope she is okay. Let's see if how you fare against Hiromi. Naruto bites his thumb again and smears it again on the seal. Kuchio's no jutsu. This time when the smoke clears, a dragon 2 stories taller than Manda appears. Naruto, even on top of the colossal beast, can see Orochimaru's eyes bug out. Hiromi has the same style body as Hitomi, only she is solid gold with wings that could span across half of Konoha. Her fierce amethyst eyes glare at Manda. Her snout is long and has several sharp spikes underneath her chin. Naruto-sama, am I to assume that these are the people that injured Hitomi? A feminine voice says softly as to not make Naruto deaf. Yeah, how is she by the way? She is in intensive care. We managed to get most of the poison out of her system, but she won't be able to move for a while. Naruto lets out a sigh of relief. That's good. Now if you take care of Manda over there, I can handle Orochi-tem. Very well, Naruto-sama. When this is over, make sure to summon me later. We have something to discuss. Naruto rubs her head between the scales in acknowledgement before sliding down her to reach a safe height to jump to the ground. As soon as Naruto is on the ground, Hiromi speeds off after Manda. Naruto walks slowly towards Orochimaru, who just recovered from his stupor. What kind of summon was that? I created a seal that stores my excess chakra and uses it for summoning. It is like a regular summons, but I don't use chakra and I always appear on top of the bigger summons. Orochimaru smirks. After he kills this Anbu, he will steal the seal and use it for his own means. In the meantime, Orochimaru flashes though a dozen hand signs. Mandara no Jin. Myriad snake net formation. Hundreds of snakes pour from Orochimaru's mouth and rush forward. As they move, they multiply exponentially, creating thousands of snakes, literally creating a wall of snakes, each with their own Kusanagi blades extended. They get within 20 feet of Naruto before he channels his chakra. Onetsuse. Hinote no Yomi. Thermal release. Flames of the underworld. Fire spews forth out of Naruto's mouth and go about 10 feet, but instead of rushing forward, it stops and expands to the sides, producing a wall of white-hot flames 40 feet wide and as tall. The snakes are instantly incinerated, not even leaving any ash. The wall doesn't fade though. Hidden behind the wall, Naruto channels more chakra. Onetsuse. Maki no Kenba. Thermal release. Hounds of Hell. Nothing appears to happen, but Naruto continues as if nothing is wrong. He claps and proclaims. Futon. Datappa. Wind release. Great breakthrough. The flames shoot forward at high speeds with the wind backing it. The effect is a very widespread attack. Orochimaru is forced to use a chakra-enhanced jump up to avoid the flames, playing right into Naruto's plan. As the flames pass underneath him, 4 large dogs made of white-hot fire jump after him. One swipes at him, forcing him to use Kawarimi with an unburned log. Right as he lands, he is attacked by the other 3. They swipe and lunge and bite at Orochimaru, making it very difficult to counterattack. Eventually he becomes fed up. Sword of Kusanagi. A blade shoots out of his mouth and impales one of the fire hounds, but it doesn't dispel, only making Kusanagi very hot. Narrowing his eyes, he spins the sword very quickly, forcing a very strong current of air that makes the hound explode outwards. 1 down, 3 to go. As the hounds continue to attack relentlessly, Naruto sits close by and watches. One hound gets in a lucky swipe, only to see Orochimaru turn to mud, via Kawarimi with a mud clone. As the hounds hone in on Orochimaru's scent, 3 snakes shoot out of the ground and wrap themselves around the hounds. This is only for a second as the snakes are incinerated, but that is all Orochimaru need. Futon. Datapa. A fierce wind screeches around the clearing and the trees right at the hounds. As the wind hit them, it is so great that it snuffs out the fires in seconds. Naruto then sees Orochimaru walk into the clearing, breathing heavily. Damn, that was close. I haven't had to fight like this in years, he breathes before he sets his eyes on Naruto. Who are you? Naruto looks at him behind his mask. Someone you shouldn't cross. As that exact second, Manda slams down into the ground, creating a huge impact crater. Not a second later, Hiromi slams down on top of him, creating an even bigger crater. As the smoke clears, Hiromi is seen with one of her massive front legs pinning Manda down, her jaws very close to the soft spot right behind his head. He is covered in scratches and cuts and burn marks. Manda looks at Orochimaru with hate in his eyes. Don't you dare summon me again or I will kill you, before he vanishes in a puff of smoke. Hiromi turns to Orochimaru and growls, her head low to the ground, prepared to pounce. She lets out a very deep and low growl that makes the earth tremble. I suggest you retreat Orochi-tem or you won't leave this clearing alive, Naruto says impassively behind his mask as he walks up beside Hiromi. He places a hand on Hiromi's neck, just behind her head. Orochimaru may be mad with power lust, but he isn't stupid. He knows when he is outmatched. I won't forget this. Your days are numbered, he hisses out, clearly pissed before Shunshin's away. Naruto walks in front of Hiromi and scratches her nose. Thanks for the help. I would have had a hard time taking both of them by myself. Hiromi lays her head on the ground, allowing him to continue his scratching, as it is the closest she can get to looking him in the eyes at his level. No problem. That's what I'm here for. I must say that I enjoyed turning that snake into a wallet. I'll make one for Hitomi. She raises her tail and shows a large piece of snake skin laying on it as a trophy. Right. Well, I'm off. No telling how much time the mission will take before I get back to somewhere I can summon you. I'll see you later, Hiromi-sama, he says with a low bow. Take care of yourself. With that, she disappears back to the summon's realm, visiting Hitomi to give her the snake skin. He walks back to the bridge and finds Yamato being treated by Sakura. Fugaki is standing guard and Sai is sitting with his legs dangling over the side drawing. To an outsider, it may seem like he isn't paying attention, but his body language is saying differently. What's his diagnosis? Naruto asks. Several cut muscles and tendons, a concussion, and severe chakra exhaustion. What happens now? She looks to Naruto. Naruto sighs. Well, the mission is a failure. We didn't get any new information out of Kabuto before Orochimaru showed up. Though I can't help feeling that this was a setup to kill Sasori to begin with, so there probably wasn't much to learn anyways. We will head back to Konoha and report to Tsunade-sama. Is Yamato stable to move? Sakura hesitates. I don't know. My medical knowledge is average at best. Then we will err on the side of caution. Do what you can. We will rest here until tomorrow before moving out. I will message ahead and let Tsunade-sama know of our status. With that he summons a small dragon about the length of his arm. The dragon is very long and has no legs and a flat snout. It is a conglomerate of colors from red to orange to yellow. How can I help you? It squeaks. I need you to deliver this message to Tsunade-sama in the Hokage Tower in Konohagakure. Return if she has a reply, but if not then you can go home young one, he says before handing the small dragon a scroll. Sure thing nah. Naruto quickly places a hand over the dragon's mouth. While I'm wearing this mask, please call me Owl, he says calmly. Sure thing Owl-sama. I'll take your message as quick as I can. The dragon flies off at a high speed that didn't seem possible for something so small. The whole time, the three conscious members of Team 7 were watching the interaction. Sakura gets curious about the identity of the owl-masked Anbu, but decides to ask about it later. Time skip -1 week. Naruto leads Team 7 into the village, not bothering to stop at the check-in at the gate, seeing how Anbu don't get questioned. They took Yamato to the hospital first and Naruto alone went to report to Tsunade. After a thorough debriefing, Tsunade sent him off. He instantly shunshuns to his apartment. He arrives and takes off his Anbu mask. Although he has been back for a few months, he doesn't go anywhere without some kind of mask on as he doesn't want people to know he is back. It's more of the fact he doesn't want to talk to people than he doesn't want people to know he is back. He walks back to his room and opens the door, only to find someone already there, in his bed. Kyuubi, you have your own room, he states. Although she is pretending to be asleep, he sees the slight frown on her face. He rips the blanket off and sees her completely naked, but he isn't fazed by this. She walks around most of the time like that around him, so he is used to it. She has red eyes with matching hair, nails, and landing strip. He didn't want to know the last part, but with her naked most of the time, it was only a matter of time. She has very long, slim legs and delicate skin. But Foxy-kun, I like yours, she whines. Ever since he and Jiraiya found a way to release her safely a year and a half ago, she has been trying to get him to sleep with her for an unknown reason. Mostly she stays in the city, but Naruto left some of the seal intact, enabling her to go inside Naruto's body whenever she feels like. It is also a way for her to go on missions with him as she is not a citizen or a shinobi of Konoha. In order to unseal her, Naruto had to reduce the seal, little by little. Once a week, he would weaken the seal and each time a flood of yoki would come out, forcing him to be pained the entire week as his body adjusts to producing more and more chakra and expanding his coils to match. This went on for months. After 4 months of having absolutely no chakra control, he finally ripped the seal apart allowing her to come out. At the end of it, Naruto has as much raw chakra as the Nibi. It took him a full 3 months and tens of thousands of shadow clones to have control of his reserves. Even now he doesn't have full control, but with an almost never-ending supply, that really isn't much of a problem. His chakra coils hold as much as a normal Jonin has total. Not even a Hyuga can close his Tenketsu. One of the most interesting things though is that after Kyuubi was free of the seal, Naruto's body began producing yoki her absence in the same quantities to keep the ratio right. Kyuubi then explained how because he was only a few months along as a fetus, the sealing forced a genetic change, making Naruto a half-demon. It was only until now that Kyuubi is no longer providing the yoki that his body made use of the genetic changes. He would stop aging at 21 and can use yoki without recourse. Of course, not all the changes were because he is half-demon. Because of the malnutrition on his early years, his growth was stunted. Kyuubi rectified this by forcing Naruto's body through months of constant growth to make up for lost time. He is now 16 and 6 feet 2 inches. Naruto folds the comforter and starts to take off his Anbu gear. Kyuubi, seeing him completely ignore her, frowns even more. She sits up and hugs him from behind, her massive assets pushing into his back. Come on, Foxy. Why won't you pay attention to me? I've tried everything I can think of. Is there no way to break you out of your shell? Not once has Naruto broken or even talked much about himself, though not from lack of trying. Twice a week she would pull Naruto into his mind and try to get him to talk to him, but that wouldn't work. Kushina would try to get to know him, but he mostly ignored her outside of training. Jiraiya had tried the hardest. He tried physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion, emotional stimulation, everything he can think of, and nothing worked. Please get dressed. Naruto pulled out of her grip and undressed and got in the shower. Kyuubi stands there, not moving from her spot. A single tear rolls down her face. I'm sorry, Naruto. It's because of my presence that you are so hurt. I swear I'll get that pink bitch back for making you like this. Just then an Anbu knocks at the front door. He storms in without it being let in and goes right to Naruto's room. Kyuubi had just enough time to use her yoki to make herself decent before the horse Anbu appears in his room. He turns to Kyuubi. Uzumaki Naruto is summoned immediately to the council chambers. I am to escort him there now, even if I have to drag him, he says to her with a condescending voice. The Anbu tries to make his way past her to drag Naruto out of the shower when Kyuubi grabs his hand in a vice grip. Thank you, but we can get there on our own. Now leave before I make you. Horse just scoffs and tries to get out of her grip, but Kyuubi doesn't let go. You will let me proceed with my mission or suffer the consequences. When she doesn't let go, he winds up to strike her when she increases the force on her grip, forcing him to the ground. He looks to her eyes and sees them burning with rage. As I told you before, we know where it is. She hoists him up and walks to the door and kicks him out into the street and just lies there, unmoving. It isn't the force of the impact with the concrete that made him pass out, it was the kick to the balls with Tsunade-like strength that made him succumb to unconsciousness. She walks back to Naruto's room to see him dressed in a gray hoodie, gauntlets, greaves, and Anbu pants. What was that about? He had heard someone in his bedroom and then Kyuubi speak. We have been summoned to the advisory board. The Anbu was about to drag you out of the shower to bring you to the council chambers. I stopped him and he is now nowhere able to perform his job. Naruto gets a bad feeling about the condition of the Anbu that Kyuubi left him in, but lets it go. Kyuubi disappears into the seal and Naruto walks out of his apartment, this time a blank Anbu mask on, and sees the Anbu still lying on the concrete. Naruto walks over to him and lifts his mask. On the inside and Naruto sees something. He goes over and examines the man before picking up the man and carrying him over his shoulder to the council room. When Naruto walks in, he sees the advisory board all looking at him with the Anbu over his shoulder. He tosses the mask to the clan heads after dumping the unconscious man unceremoniously onto the floor near an Anbu. It appears that Danzo is not yet done with Konoha. The board looks concerned about this. They pass around the mask and find the kanji for root inscribed on the inside. He also has a seal on his tongue. If that doesn't prove he is a root, then I don't know what will, Naruto informs the board. He knows about the council purges, as they are called by the shinobi, and knows that Danzo is now a B rank missing nin. We will deal with this another time. Anbu, take him to Ibiki and have him begin the standard seal breaking that Jiraiya made. Oh, and make sure to search for cyanide capsules. Ibiki then has my authority to find out whatever he can by any means necessary. The Anbu salutes and disappears in a shunshin with the root spy. Tsunade then turns to Naruto. Now Naruto, I do believe that you have some inheritance for me to give you still. Here are the keys to the Namikaze estate. I have unlocked your clan accounts so those are available for use. The board will also like to know your abilities so we may plan on later events. You have the option of not telling those, I won't force you. Naruto takes the keys and pockets them and turns to the board. He takes off the mask. The board all take a collective breath. You have the Rinnegan. Choza asks. Naruto nods. How do you possess such a bloodline? We don't know enough about it for us to know. Naruto shakes his head. This is going to take a long time to explain. After finishing telling the Uzumaki history up to the sage and how the Uchiha have the Sharingan, he becomes silent. He left out the tombs and the fact that he can gain the Sharingan, but nobody needs to know about that. I won't tell you what I can do, as no ninja reveals what they can do unless they have to. Sorry, but even as heads of the clans, you hide what exactly you can do, so I don't see why I should reveal what I can do. For now, just know that I have an affinity with all elements and gravity. Well, have you gained control over the Kyuubi at all? Shikaku asks, hoping to get something out of him besides a textbook answer that all of them knew he had. It's interesting you should ask. Actually, Kyuubi isn't linked to me anymore, but she prefers to stay with me for whatever reason. As such, I no longer have access to her yoki. But before I had up to 4 tails. A poof of smoke, and standing next to Naruto is a waist-high red fox with 9 swirling tails. The entire board jumps back and prepares to fight. Kyuubi chuckles at the board's reactions. And what can you do against me mortals? The board is about to jump Kyuubi when Tsunade slams a hand on the table, getting everyone's attention. I can assure you that if Kyuubi wanted us dead, we would be a long time ago. She has been out for over a year. She holds this village in contempt, but the only things keeping her from destroying this village is Naruto, so be glad he likes this city for some reason. Yes, and you should be very happy that I'm letting this shit village continue after seeing what this village did you, a child. No Biju would ever subject someone to that much mental, physical, or emotional trauma. I'm even amazed that Naruto isn't even more messed up than he already is. One clan head is about to speak up when Tsunade cuts him off. He already has had a full physiological evaluation, like all shinobi do every 6 months, is deemed fit for duty. How I don't know, but I had our best counselor do his evaluation. Even now he has sessions and will probably continue to see a counselor for the rest of his life. With that, Naruto, you may leave. We still have some budget items to go over. Naruto nods his head and leaves after Kyuubi poofs back into Naruto. Right before he exits, Kyuubi reappears beside him in her human form. As much as she would like to scare the shit out of the villagers, it would only cause more problems. Naruto leads the way, not even registering Kyuubi beside him. He leads the way to the Namikaze compound. He has been by there a few times after he got back just to see what it looks like, but unable to get inside. He opens the gate with a click and a seal appeared. Recognizing it, he rubs some blood on it and the gate swings open. Naruto and Kyuubi looks at the huge compound. By the gate is a map and Naruto takes a look. The compound has a dozen fairly large houses, 2 hot springs, one for women along with a matching one for men on the opposite side of the compound, and a mixed spring, the 2 separate genders is counted as 1-2 dojo, a market, 3 outdoor training grounds, a recreation center, and a clan center. The clan center is where the current head of the clan resides with her family and is the largest building in the compound. This is also where the clan offices are located. It has 3 stories. The first floor being for clan business, offices and storage spaces to run the clan on the first floor. The second is for clan meetings and discussions as well as the clan head's personal study. The third floor is reserved for the clan head's family. Naruto had only been inside the clan center, but got no further than the first floor due to the seals. Now that he has the keys, he has access to all the buildings, floors, and doors. Today is for exploring. He didn't have anything else to do today, so he is free to do so. It's very big. Naruto rolls his eyes at the innuendo. Why did you come? You know it is dangerous for people to see you. Kyuubi pouts cutely. Ah, does Naru-kun not want me around? She pauses for effect. Seeing no reaction, she sighs. I am damn determined to break you out of this funk you're in. If that means that I spend every minute of the day beside you, then I will. Even if it means sharing my bed with you, I'll do it. Nobody deserves what happened to you, and you won't be happy with someone unless you get out of the state you're in, so buck up or get used to it. She doesn't say it, but she hopes that it is with her. Over the years, even before she met Naruto face to face, she was watching his memories and she respects him a great deal. The amount of fortitude and resilience he possesses is beyond comprehension. She would have snapped long ago, but Naruto held it in and gave everyone a smile and a joke, hoping to take others' sadness away, even at the cost of his own. He is everything she sees a mate should be and more. But first she has to pry him loose of his apathy. Naruto, not knowing the thoughts going on in her mind, just shrugs and continues to explore. He covers the entire compound, every home, none are even relatively similar in shape and design, all the offices. The only place he didn't go is the third floor of the clan center. He had his hand on the doorknob, but unable to turn it and take that final step. Kyuubi wanted to go to him, but in his current state, he wouldn't accept her nor would she be welcome. This is something he has to do. They leave the compound and go home. Naruto undresses and doesn't bother with dinner and goes straight to bed. Kyuubi sits against his door and leans her head against it, deep in thought. Sometime later, she hears a something. It is so soft that she almost didn't hear it. A sniffle. More come now as Naruto tries to stem the flow of tears for what he could have had, but instead had his childhood taken away. Kyuubi's heart sinks and wishes she could comfort him, hold him, let him know that it's going to be okay. It breaks her heart to see such pain and sorrow in someone so young. Sure, she has seen things worse than what Naruto has gone through, but never has she seen such malice and hatred directed toward a child before. Kyuubi listens to him cry and sheds silent tears for him and eventually falls asleep against the door, tear stains visible on her flawless skin. Time skip 2 days. Naruto stands in the middle of Tsunade's office, waiting to see if she approves of his next mission. It is a mission to Kurigakure to activate the next sequence of tombs, the Tomb of the Protector. He had just deciphered the message from the last tomb they activated. Tsunade is mulling over letting him go by himself or with a team and having to explain to the new people about him. Naruto recalls the tomb of the warrior in Suna that unlocked his Rinnegan. Flashback -2 years. Jiraiya and Naruto approach the gates of Suna, having just finished trekking across the desert with very little stops. They is immediately accosted by 2 Chunin at the gate, the leader thinking he should show off to his newly instated guard next to him who happens to be obscenely hot. Halt. Present your ids or else. He demands. Naruto, not really in the happiest of moods from the early stages of dehydration, growls at the attitude of the upstart Chunin. Said Chunin hears the growl, but keeps up his tough guy charade, clearly not knowing that not only is Jiraiya a Sannin and way out of his league but that Naruto is a personal friend of the Cage. Yeah, and what are you going to do about it, hairpiece? Naruto shoots back. The leader stared blankly at him. He turns red from rage and embarrassment from the jab. He happens to be an older and due to genetics, started losing his hair at an early age and is forced to wear a toupee to cover up his chronic baldness. Now the hottie beside knows it, reducing her opinion of him. Seeing her commander starting to lose his temper, the new Chunin timidly approaches him. Tenzo-senpai, maybe we should just be nice. Now that the old man has her poking at him to let it go, he can't unless he wants to be made a fool of. Glaring at Naruto, he gets directly in his path. Papers or else. Naruto's eyebrow twitches. Moving faster than the Chunin can see, Naruto spins the man around before forming a tiger hand sign. The new Chunin recognizes it and starts to move forward. Watch out, senpai, she shouts, but too late. Konohagakure hidden secret taijutsu technique. 1000 years of death. Naruto plunges his 2 index fingers deep into the man's rectum, making him shoot off at tremendous speeds. Everyone there is shell-shocked that Naruto would use such a technique. This is the scene that Gaara arrives to. It seems that you cause trouble wherever you go. It's good to see you, Naruto. Naruto walks over and takes his wham. Flashback end. Naruto groans as he reverts back to reality as he slowly gets off the floor with much effort on his part. The chair that was used as a flying projectile lies smashed in a few pieces a few feet from his head and a giant lump on his head, indicating just how hard she threw it. The chair was solid wood, one piece, not a speck of glue on it. Don't go into random flashbacks when I'm talking to you. Tsunade yells. Naruto holds his head as he lifts himself off the floor. He sways dangerously and has to hold onto the back of a chair to keep his balance. What were you saying now? Tsunade growls, but continues where she left off. You can go to Kurigakure, but you will have a slug with you at all times in case something happens. And take Kyuubi with you. I know she goes where she wants now, but since you won't have any backup and I can't assign a guard, she is the best bet to keep you safe. Also, Mizu no Kuni is in the middle of a civil war, a fight between the bloodline clans and the Mizukage who wants to exterminate them. You will not participate in helping either. It will strictly be defensive rules of engagement. Is that clear? Naruto nods his head. If he, a Konoha ninja, were to engage in a battle with the current Mizukage and the rebels are defeated, it will spell very serious consequences for Konoha. If he were to side with the Mizukage, then Konoha could be caught up in the political nightmare that the bloodline purges are. What? I didn't hear you, Tsunade presses, talking no chance that he doesn't understand her words. Yes, I understand, Tsunade-sama. How long do I have to complete the mission and what will my cover be? You have 1.5 months to complete the mission and an additional 2 months for travel as it takes 3 weeks to sail to Kiri no Kuni. As for your cover, you will be going under the guise that Konoha is looking for an alliance and you are there to see if Kiri is what we are looking for. This should make it so you can look around without people getting suspicious. Any questions? He shakes his head. I'll leave within the hour. Naruto turns to the door. Naruto. He turns to look at Tsunade. Be careful. Naruto nods and disappears. Tsunade turns to look out the windows that overlook the village. What will it take to break you out of that mask? Border of Hai no Kuni. Kuchio's no Jutsu. A small puff of smoke appears before Naruto. He blinks. He was expecting an enormous amount of smoke that boss summons usually produce because of their size. When the smoke clears, a woman stands before him. She has waist-length bright golden hair, the color of a sunflower, wrapped up in an intricate bun that has a few stray strands reaching to the bottom of her neck. She is tall and wrapped in an elegant, yet simple kimono. This does nothing to hide her fun bags. Her large fun bags. She rivals Ba-chan, he thinks before he stops himself. This is the first time in 2 years that he has seen Hiromi in her human form. Hiromi looks from Naruto to the woman beside him before she recognizes the woman. Ah, long time no see, Kyuubi-sama. It's good to see you again, she grates. Hiromi steps up and hugs Kyuubi. The two have known each other for quite a while and the first time Hiromi was summoned by Naruto she was ecstatic. Kyuubi is clothed this time wearing loose pants and several layers of clothing under her armor, not that she needs armor. What did you need to talk about? Naruto asks. Hiromi looks towards Naruto, suddenly nervously. She opens and closes her mouth several times, but nothing comes out. Naruto stands there patiently waiting. Seeing Hiromi so flustered, Kyuubi walks over and the two whisper so low that Naruto's enhanced hearing can't listen in. Kyuubi's eyes go wide for a second before a wicked grin appears on her face. Kyuubi whispers something back before both women look at him. Naruto gets a sinking feeling in his stomach from the looks he is getting. It's like he is a piece of meat or a toy for them to play with. This will not end well, he thinks. It actually does. But he doesn't find that out, nor does he care at this point. Kyuubi walks up and takes his arm before pulling him up to Hiromi. They now stand a foot apart with Hiromi gaining a huge blush. Hiromi-chan has something she wants to ask you. She goes even redder at the suffix. Naruto raises his eyebrow at the suffix, but has no other reaction. Hiromi, on the other hand, has a blush on her face as she turns to Naruto. He finds it as kinda funny seeing a 12-story dragon in human form flustered and nervous about asking him something. Would you be my mate? She finishes very quickly and turns around right after and starts pushing her two fingers together. Naruto hears it, deciphers it, processes it, then his brain overloads. Why? What? Comes his intelligent question. I have never had a mate, and the boss summons is supposed to bond with the head of the Uzumaki clan. Traditionally, when the boss summons and the head Uzumaki are different genders, they are mates. This ensures a tight relationship between us. She says all this without turning around, not trusting herself not to faint. For once, Naruto doesn't know what to think. On one hand, he barely knows her and she is a completely different species than him. On the other, she is incredible, beautiful, smart, and strong. But the nagging thing that he doesn't know her makes him leery of outright accepting. Why don't we get to know each other a little better first before we make any hasty decisions? It is more of a statement than a question, but Hiromi looks more than happy to accept. Oh, okay. Where are you going? Maybe I can stay with you. Naruto points to the east. We are headed to Kiri no Kuni. There is the tomb of the protector where I will unlock my water abilities and be able to control gravity. Very handy abilities to say the least. But there is a civil war going on there, so we have to be careful. You can come if you want, but don't attack unless we are attacked first. Hiromi nods. Since I will be staying here for an extended amount of time, I need to make sure things will run smoothly at the den. I will rejoin you in a few hours. Her nervousness and shyness are gone, replaced with her professional game face. Getting a nod and a confirmation from Naruto and Kyuubi, she disappears in a puff of smoke. Immediately Naruto turns to Kyuubi. What do you have planned? Kyuubi gets a curious expression. I don't know what you are talking about. I have nothing planned. She acts innocently, but Naruto isn't buying it. If you're not planning something, then I don't have the Rinnegan. Spill it. I don't want to be surprised in the middle of battle. Kyuubi huffs and puffs out her chest indignantly. This also has the effect of pushing her already large pillows. Naruto's eyes shoot down for a second before finding her face again. Kyuubi gins on the inside. You will find out when I deem you ready, not before. It isn't something that will harm you, so just drop it. Naruto sighs. Kyuubi may want to sleep with him, but once she sets her mind on something, she is so stubborn that she will only diverge it if someone's life in danger. He knows that he isn't going to get it from her now, so there is no point. Come on, let's get moving. We still have several days before we reach the eastern coast. Time skip -3 weeks. Naruto, Hiromi, and Kyuubi step off the boat on Kiri no Kuni. They are in a small coastal town, a few days of civilian travel speed from Kurigakure no Sato. As they leave the village, 12 mist ninja appear around them. Look what we have here. A little twig ninja. What would you be doing here in Kiri? The leader, a tall man with a mask and sunglasses with his 88 around his bicep. We have business with your Mizukage on behalf of Lady Tsunade, the Godime Hokage. We would appreciate an escort as to avoid any mishaps and so we don't get lost. The Kiri Jonin looks over Naruto, then Kyuubi and Hiromi, assessing honest and threat level. Alright, we will take you to the Mizukage. He snaps his fingers. Instantly, 4 more Kiri nin appear. All 4 are wearing the same outfit, well mostly, and a blank Anbu mask. Take these 3 to Lord Mizukage. They are not to be harmed. He stands to the side and allows Naruto and the 2 non-humans to pass. Right this way, the leader of the 4 says before jumping away, forcing the 3 to jump after them, revealing the 2 women of having ninja training. As they travel, Naruto gets a better look at the ninja. The leader is an older shinobi male with brown hair that has strips of gray and a goatee. The next ninja is a woman approximately 16. She has very short brown hair and semi-revealing attire, obviously trying to have an advantage to those who aren't used to dealing with women. But it is the third member that really gets his attention. She is roughly 20 to 25, ankle-length auburn hair. She wears the standard Anbu clothing with a slight adjustment. Her assets are very large, making the normal armor unwearable even with bindings, so she has on some kind of separate armor that is a few sizes too big for her. But her body isn't what got his attention. He doesn't know what he feels from her. But he can feel something coming from her that the others don't have. He doesn't know what it is or how he know it, but something about her is different. He makes a mental note to find out later. His musings about this new feeling completely distract him from the last ninja, but unfortunately for said ninja, he doesn't really matter, so he will remain nameless and be lost to history. Time skip -2 hours. Kurigakure no Sato. Naruto and company along with the escort walk towards the tower in the very middle of the city. Every direction they turn, they see poverty, filth, destroyed buildings, desperation, hunger. It looks like a horror film right in front of them. They all have to repress their gag reflexes since all of them have enhanced senses. The stench of death and human waste is almost overpowering. Luckily they walk into the tower and the smell is replaced by a perfume of some sort that counteracts the vile stench that coats the village. They are led up 5 flights of stairs to the Mizukage office, where they are immediately ushered in. There they see Yugara juggling kunai behind his desk. He stops once the 3 are inside and the door closes. Ah, you must be the 3 from Konoha. I am Yugara, Yondaime Mizukage. How can I help you? Naruto pulls out a scroll and hands it to him. This scroll is different than the one Tsunade handed him. After talking with Hiromi, Naruto sent a dragon messenger back asking for a new scroll. The new scroll arrived shortly before they got on the boat for Kiri no Kuni. We are a delegation from Konohagakure sent to assess the potential of a Kiri-Konoha trade agreement and/or alliance. My name is Uzumaki Naruto and they are Q and Hiromi. I am mainly a bodyguard and a leaf shinobi, but I will assess your shinobi, while Q and Hiromi are trained to defend themselves, but are civilians and will assess the physical and economic strengths and weaknesses of Kiri. We have been granted a month and a half to survey everything, then we will return home, hopefully with very good things to say, but it may not take that long. During our assessment, we will need access to the surrounding areas of Kurigakure to fully survey the potential of our trade. During all surveys, I will be present as bodyguard and will require a spar between your top 3 shinobi. I hope you will find this acceptable, as we wish to make a complete picture of our potential ally. Naruto finishes his speech and waits for the Mizukage's decision. Meanwhile, in the Mizukage's head, he can't believe this chance. If he can get Konoha involved, the rebels will stand no chance, but even if they don't accept the alliance, the trade will be a much welcome source of income. Alright Uzumaki-san, I'll allow it, but you will have an escort at all times. I must also warn you that we are in the middle of a civil war and your safety is not guaranteed, especially if the rebels learn of you. Naruto bows. Thank you Mizukage Dono. Your warning is welcome, but I think we will be alright. We won't go far from Kurigakure, just a few miles out to conduct our surveys. When can we expect the spars? Yugara thinks for a second. There is no rush, but he wants to impress him quickly. It may have an effect on how they view the city. In 2 days the spars will commence. If you have no other questions, let me get you a guide who will show you to your living arrangements. Jonin number 315, escort our guests to the VIP hotel. Instantly, the same woman that Naruto got the strange feeling from appears in front of them. Please come this way, she says politely as she leads them away. Naruto wakes with a start. Something or more someone is on top of him. He lifts his head and opens his eyes and sees flaming red hair lying on his chest, her bare back clearly in view for all to see. He shifts his view further down and sees her breasts smashed against his bare chest. He blinks as he doesn't remember falling asleep like this. He creates a clone and Kawarimis with it and instantly finds himself without boxers or pants. He sighs. She keeps trying. I bet she was hoping to wake up before me and rape me or smother me with those weapons of hers. He hops in the shower and makes it very quick as he doesn't want QB to get any ideas about joining him. He dresses quickly and as he leaves he dispels the clone and wakes QB as she falls onto the bed. Naruto knocks on the door to the other room where Hiromi sleeps and makes sure she is up as well. He goes and starts breakfast and after a few minutes, QB comes out looking none too happy. She is in a skimpy bathrobe made out of yoki. You know, there are better ways to wake a woman. Naruto deadpans. Yeah, I bet. Whatever. Why did you sleep in my bed last night instead of with Hiromi? He asks. QB pouts. I already told you. I like your bed better. It doesn't matter where you sleep as it is automatically better than anywhere else. Naruto rolls his eyes and finishes making breakfast as Hiromi appears in the kitchen. Good morning Naruto-kun, QB-chan, she yawns out. He looks at her before turning away like it nothing. It then registers what she is wearing and he snaps back to her. She is wearing a nightgown that wouldn't be out of place in a strip club. It has two pieces. The top has long sleeves and comes just over her breast and clasps once with a button just below her breasts, showing a lot of cleavage, then flares out again showing her very toned and flat stomach. Her bottom part is a skirt that stops right about mid to high thigh. Did I mention the fact that the material of both pieces is nearly see-through? Well, it is. Naruto can practically see all her body, which is on par with QB's, and he doesn't see any lines from underwear. So either she hides her underwear really well or she isn't wearing any at all. He has to hold his nose to prevent the blood from making him shoot back. Hiromi just moves on past him, but QB notices the trickle of blood that gets past his fingers. Hiromi-chan, I think Naruto-kun is having dirty thoughts about you. Hiromi looks around to Naruto as he turns around to hide his nosebleed. What he misses is the smirk she has on her face. The two women dig into the breakfast at the counter with tall stools while Naruto waits for his nose to stop bleeding so he can let his nose go and release the pent-up blood, which he is eventually able to do without passing out. Naruto turns around having regained control over himself and eats his breakfast as well, trying not to stare at Hiromi. QB sees this and has a smirk on her face. Ha! No man can stand up to two women. I just hope that this works. Hiromi finishes first and places her breasts on the counter, making them seem even larger while feigning ignorance. So what are we going to do today? She asks, looking bored. Well, Naruto says with a mouthful. He swallows before continuing. I think that we should start with the city itself. We spend at the least a week looking around the city. From there we go to just outside the city for 2 weeks and then to the surrounding villages for 3 weeks. The final week we meet here and have one more survey through. What do you think? Well, to be honest, it may take more than a few weeks to get a complete picture of the surrounding towns. Plus there are also the rebels to think about. They might attack us for even thinking about allying with Kiri, Hiromi adds. But we only have a total of 2 months to do a job that could take a half a year to do properly. So I think it is a good plan for now, and if we need to make adjustments, we can. QB adds her 2 cents in. Plus the final week we can move where we need to look at. They finish planning as a knock comes at the door. Naruto, being the most dressed out of the group, answers it after he puts on a Kakashi-like mask, a pair of Aburame-like sunglasses, and a hoodie that covers his hair. What he finds is the auburn-haired Jonin from yesterday at his door. The Jonin is slightly thrown off at the sight of Naruto. She was sure that he would take off the mask here. Now he is more of a mystery. She regains her wits about her. Hello, I have been ordered to escort you around town. When will you be ready? Naruto steps to the side and ushers her in. The Jonin raises an eyebrow at the current state of undress of the women and just how obscenely hot the two women are. She feels threatened by these women. What woman wouldn't be? They represent everything a woman wants. Gorgeous skin, Silky soft hair, long legs, amazing bust line that doesn't sag without underwear. So, what's your name? Naruto asks, breaking the tension in the room. My Jonin number is 315. You may address me as so, she replies. Naruto shakes his head. That's not what I asked. I asked for your name. What you are called when not on duty. The Kiri Jonin blanches. Nobody has showed enough interest in her to wonder about her past, her body, much less ask about her name. It's Terumi. May Terumi. Well, it's nice to meet you, Terumi-san. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. These two ladies are Hiromi and Q. They have no clan name. Hiromi is the shorter one with the golden hair. May bows slightly to the women. It's good to meet you too. Well, it's nice to know that not all Kiri shinobi are snobs and have sticks up their asses, Kyubi says. Her voice now lacks the usual power-filled bass, making her voice sound strangely high to Naruto. May, for her part, scratches her head bashfully. Well, we're in a civil war, so you can't be too careful. Yes, but that doesn't mean that they have to act how they look, Hiromi jabs. She too lacks her normal powerful voice to keep her cover as just a human. May is about to retort to the jab when Naruto steps in, trying to keep the peace. Ladies, calm down. We're their guests and as such it would do well to remember your manners, he admonishes them. Kyubi childishly sticks her tongue out at him. Spoil sport. Naruto turns to May. Well, Terumi-san, we will walk around the village for a week or so and assess it. After that we will move on the areas just outside of the village, then to some closest towns. Does that work? May thinks for a second. Yes, that should be fine. Just know that once we leave the area around the city that we will be vulnerable to rebel attacks. I can't guarantee your safety. Naruto waves her off. Don't worry. We can all handle ourselves. So once we get dressed, we can go. Time skip 2 days. Naruto stands quietly off to one side of the training grounds, not really thinking of anything, just waiting and observing, Q and Hiromi standing next to him. The last 2 days seem to go by in a blur. Mainly walking around and avoiding questions from their babysitter. At one point May asked Kyubi what was Naruto's problem since he neither asked nor answered any questions directed at him. Q, getting fed up with all the questions, just told her to ask him and not bother her or Hiromi. Speaking of Q and Hiromi, they had been taking a lot of notes. But instead of a deep analysis on the economic stability of the region, they have defense positions, approximate numbers of shinobi, possible entrances. Even if they aren't allowed to participate in the war, they can help out the people fighting to end the reign of the person who caused the deplorable conditions they walk through day in and day out. They don't know if the rebels would improve Kiri, but anything would be better than how it currently is. Naruto is awoken from his musings when 4 people walk into view. One is the Mizukage, one if their guide, and the other 2 he doesn't know. He is wearing his half mask and glasses to hide his features, making the Mizukage a little on edge since he can't read Naruto's face. Welcome, Naruto-san. We shall test my best Jonin against you. How shall the matches proceed? Naruto shrugs. Send 2 at first, then the next match will be against 1. The matches will be all out until one side is completely incapacitated or too injured to continue the fight. No killing strikes, and if you would Mizukage-sama be the referee. Yugara raises an eyebrow at the setup, but it is how he wants it. Jonin number 385 and number 215 will be the first match. Jonin number 315 will be the second. But Jonin number 18 will referee. Naruto nods his understanding. The training area the Mizukage chose was actually the stadium they use for the Chunin exams, but with the civil war, the exams haven't been to Kiri in over 5 years and isn't likely to return for another few years. The stands are packed with shinobi and non-shinobi alike. Q and Hiromi find their way to the spectator box to watch. They talk with quiet excitement between them in anticipation of the match. Jonin S385 Hanso and 215 Mycene appear in the middle of the arena. Hanzo is shorter than Naruto, wearing no distinctive clothing and armor and a big sword on his back, think Cloud Big. Mycene is the same height as Naruto. The only thing distinctive he is wearing is a purple hakama, something akin to a male skirt. He too has a sword, but it is a kodashi and strapped to his waist. Jonin number 18 hops into the arena and begins the match without asking if either party is ready. The two Jonin rush Naruto, who gracefully twirls out of the way of both swords. He pulls out a pair of kunai and begins deflecting sword strikes. This goes on for 5 minutes and Naruto isn't even breathing hard. Using a blast of wind, channeled through the kunai, he sends them back a few feet and draws his divine relic. This time Naruto attacks. He appears in front of Hanzo and tries to impale him. But Hanzo uses the flat edge of his sword to deflect and tries to stab Naruto himself. However, he wasn't planning on just how agile and strong Naruto is. Naruto stabs his sword deep into the ground, locking them together. He then uses the locked swords as leverage and lifts the rest of his body off the ground, having a dual purpose of going over the impaling sword and drawing the man off balance. Naruto's feet hits the ground and instantly his knee is in his opponent's face, sending him back several feet from the sheer force of the blow. Suddenly Naruto ducks and is saved from being decapitated. Naruto does a break dance-like move and sweeps the legs out of man. As the man hits the ground, he feels a strong wind near his neck and can barely make out the form of a sword made of wind inches from his windpipe. He looks over to his partner to see if he can help him and sees Naruto standing over him with his metal sword in the same position, just over the throat. Everyone in the crowd, minus Kyuubi, is stunned. To hear of a wind-natured chakra that can be controlled so far from the user through just manipulation is unheard of, and Naruto is a good 5 feet from the man. The match didn't even last 10 minutes. Winner, Konoha, shouts the referee. Naruto sheathes his sword and disperses the wind blade, not even sweating. Suddenly Mei isn't feeling so confident. If two couldn't take him, then how could she? Jonin number 315, get out there, Yugara orders. Having no choice, she can only hope that Naruto goes easy on her. As soon as the match starts, she forms hand seals. Yoden. Kazangan no Dama. Lave release. Lava balls globs in canon version. Naruto's eyes narrow as the molten pockets of lava race towards him. He sidesteps each one and rushes forward, intent on not allowing her to use that sub-element. That's it. That is what is different about her. Using a sub-element requires a bloodline. How she has managed to stay hidden for so long is beyond him. How he feels it, he has no idea, but he will worry about that later. He reaches striking range, but finds Mei is very adept in taijutsu. They trade blows on even ground and Mei decides to up the tempo. She jumps back and forms more hand signs. Futen. Komu no Jutsu. Boil release. Skilled mist technique. A thick mist rolls out of Mei's mouth and coats the ground. Naruto feels his cloth start to dissolve at a slow rate. His mind goes into overdrive and forms hand signs of his own. Futon. Datop. Naruto only gets a part of the way through the hand seals as Mei knocks the wind out of him with a powerful kick. But even still, the technique goes off and dilutes the mist to negligible levels. Mei eyes Naruto as she pushes forward with her assault, hoping that with him not being able to draw breath that it will allow her to win. Unfortunately, that is not what Naruto has planned. He creates several clones and they all engage Mei to get her off the original. While she is distracted, Naruto recovers and forms hand seals. Kaden. Karyu Enden. Fire release. Fire Dragon Flame Bullet. A huge dragon bursts out of Naruto's mouth as Naruto holds the last symbol to make it appear that he is using chakra to control the dragon. He directs the dragon to the fighting Mei and his clones and makes the dragon kamikaze itself right on top of them. The temperature in the stadium rises dramatically, forcing many to shield themselves from the intense heat. Naruto looks on impassively as the fire burns the ground and liquefies the top layer of ground. Thanks for giving me the materials I need, he hears. Yoden. Kazangan no Kankatsuzen. Lava release. Geyser of lava. The pool that had been created where the dragon had impacted suddenly shoots forward, straight for Naruto. Naruto then forms hand signs of his own. Onetsuse. Sensui no Hosaki. Thermal release. Fountain of flames. A river of white fire blazes to life right in the path of the incoming lava. It is a battle of heat versus heat. Which sub-element is stronger? Up in the cage booth, Yugara narrows his eyes. So he is a bloodline user. I guess that is expected of those bloodline-loving bastards in Konoha. Back in the fight, the two jutsu continue to battle. Mei had created a very deep pocket of lava and is just using chakra to direct the liquid substance while Naruto is constantly creating wind-enhanced fire. Eventually though the pocket of lava can't compete with near-infinite levels of half-chakra half-yoki enhanced jutsu. The lava pocket runs out of lava and Mei drops the jutsu and leans over panting but has to dodge quickly, lest she become less than ash. She appears on the far side of the arena, doubled over and breathing very difficultly. Naruto just strolls over to her and uses a wind blade to raise her head or she will be cut. Winner. Konoha. Naruto releases the jutsu and Mei drops her knees. That was the most intense battle she has ever been in. Sure she has sparred with higher level ninja than her, but never before has she been so outclassed. She could feel that Naruto was holding back. Plus there is the fact that he used a jutsu without completing the hand seals for it. She is helped off the ground by Naruto who, in his half mask and glasses, makes her blush in both embarrassment and because he is hot. In an instant Naruto is joined by his two companions. That was a great fight, Terumi-san. I must say that I am impressed, Hiromi comments. Mei mutters a quiet thanks as Naruto drops her off at the medic station. Naruto leaves to speak with the Mizukage as a few medical jutsu or run over her. Her biggest health problem. Chakra exhaustion then physical fatigue, and a few deep bruises from their taijutsu session. All in all, nothing that can't be fixed with a few days of rest. Cage box. Naruto arrives with his charges in 2. Very good matches Uzumaki-san. I must say that I see why Konoha is regarded as the strongest hidden village. Naruto takes a small bow. Thank you Mizukage-sama. It was a pleasure to fight your shinobi. Yugara's face cracks to a frown for a split second, but it is picked up on nonetheless. Is something bothering you Mizukage-sama? Naruto asks. Yugara lets his frown onto his face. Well, there is the matter of the jutsu you used. I was unaware that the Uzumaki had a bloodline that allowed them to use a sub-element. Naruto catalogs this in his mind for later. They don't. That ability is passed on through my father. I don't know who he was, but I am quite knowledgeable about the Uzumaki and our bloodline. I hope that this will not hinder our working relationship. It is hard to find someone who does not possess a bloodline in our village. Yugara shakes his head. Good. Now as for the assessment, I believe that your shinobi, while competent, need to improve. Their teamwork is lacking, they need to expand their ninjutsu as they only used their swords. I hope this is not the norm for your shinobi as it is a huge weakness. As for Jonin number 315, she has excellent taijutsu form as well as a large and devastating arsenal of jutsu. I noticed, Yugara says under his breath. It may have been low, but for the 3 non-humans it is heard. I will give Tsunade-sama a full report and allow her to make the decision. I find that your forces are adequate but could be far more effective. Yugara nods somberly. He was needing an outsider's opinion of how he could improve his forces, but that requires an outsider to 1. Be willing to come to an active war zone. And 2. Be willing to give them an accurate assessment. On top of that, it is embarrassing for a hidden village to need an outsider in the first place. I will give your suggestion and opinions some thought. Please feel free to wander around. Jonin number 315 will likely be out for a few days, so I will have another escort you. Naruto bows, showing respect. He also picks up on the dismissal. He and the women turn around and go outside the stadium and see a person waiting for them. Time skip 2 weeks. Naruto and the women are outside the city wall in the surrounding villages with Mei and an extra Jonin as a guard deterrent. This village is in no better shape than Kiri, but at least it smells better, if only slightly. Right now it is dark and Naruto, Hiromi, and Kyubi have retired for the night. Naruto is sitting in a chair by a fire and reading a scroll on human anatomy. Hiromi and Kyubi come out into the room. Kyubi puts up a privacy barrier and uses a fuinjutsu seal to barricade the doors and windows, preventing anyone from entering. Hiromi gently grabs the book Naruto is reading and closes it and takes it from him. He looks at her with questioning eyes, and they only grow when both Hiromi and Kyubi kneel right in front of him. Naruto, Hiromi starts but can't continue. We are going to break that shell tonight, Kyubi says using her normal voice. Naruto just stares impassively at them. We are tired of you treating everything so coldly and distant, Kyubi says, her eyes are soft and pleading. We know you feel something. We see lapses where you let emotions through, so we know you aren't totally lost. Just trust us. Let us in, Hiromi says passionately. Naruto continues to stare. Look, we understand why you are so distant. Why you close your feelings off. We get it. We do. But you have to understand something. We are not going to leave you. You don't have to be afraid that we are going to rip out your heart and eat it like that bitch of a girl. Well, Kyubi loves you. I can't say that for myself yet, but I'm getting there. We have spent so much time together and I see your pain, I feel how hurt you have been. I know it hasn't been easy, but we will never leave you. We will live as long as you will, and we are willing to do anything and everything for you. Hiromi and Kyubi both stand and strip. They take all their clothes off and spread their legs and toss back their hair over their shoulders, giving him an unrestricted view of their bodies. If it takes us giving ourselves to you, then we will do it. We will do whatever you ask. If you tell us to kill everyone in Konoha, we will do it. If you ask us to bear your children, we will do it. What will it take to prove that we will not leave, betray, or hurt you in any way? Hiromi is on the verge of tears, Kyubi matching her look. Both are putting themselves in a very vulnerable position. Naruto looks down to the ground. Truthfully, he does feel emotions. He likes both of them, possibly loves them. But there is always something clawing at the back of his head, something that makes him relive the pain of Sakura ripping his heart out every time he thinks of letting someone in. He can't experience that again. He is honestly touched that someone would offer everything to him, just to make him trust them. They would offer sex and even children as something to prove that they won't go away or rip his heart out. Sex doesn't really mean a commitment. Take a look at Anko. But there is something higher than children, or at least on the same level, that doesn't require time to show. Hiromi has tears spilling over. Naruto is just sitting there, ignoring them both. She just offered her everything to him and he is ignoring them. Hiromi puts her hands over her face and turns to run to her room. Quote. Both women stop what they are thinking doing. Naruto just said something. What was that? We didn't hear you, Kyubi asks. Age. Kyubi and Hiromi scoot closer to him to hear better. I said marriage, he says as he looks up at them, all kinds of emotions running through his eyes. Too many too quickly to even gauge one of them. Both are stunned and shocked into silence. That is what it will take. Not that I'm complaining, but why marriage? A confused Kyubi asks. Because it is the one thing besides children that permanently ties you to someone. You can't annul or get out of a marriage. Even if a spouse dies, you are still listed as married. It is designed to be that way. I know that for you guys mating is the same thing, but to humans sex is just something to be enjoyed. I know I'm not human, but I still think like one. That is the only thing I can think of that doesn't involve a child. The women share a look before they tackle Naruto. Of course we'll marry you. We said we are willing to do anything and we meant it. Naruto becomes aware that two very naked bodies of two very hot women against him. Maybe he can try just this once. Maybe they can help him forget. He wraps his arms around them and pulls them in closer. They climb into his lap and snuggle up against him. Both women are overjoyed when he pulls them closer. They pull his even closer when they feel hot tears hit their flawless skin. Naruto cries on their shoulders, letting go of all the pain and the suffering. He tells them everything from what was said, what he felt. All of it. Both women hold their comments and hold him tighter. By the end of it, Naruto is asleep. Well, that was a bit easier than expected, comments Kyubi. I guess he was tired of fighting you and I didn't help matters for him much. I guess the more the harder it was for him to give in to fear. Both are using their inside voices as no not wake their new fiancé. Kyubi nods. Well, let's get him to bed. He will get a neck cramp if he stays like this. Hiromi gets off him and Kyubi gently picks him up and takes him to his bedroom. Hiromi collects their clothes on the floor and tosses them into a corner while Kyubi undresses him down to his boxers. They tuck him under the covers. Oh, can we please? Hiromi asks cutely. Kyubi thinks for a second before a mischievous smile crosses her face and she nods. Naruto is in for one hell of a wake-up call. Kanahagakure no Sato. Sakura walks home from a shift at the hospital. It had been a long double shift. Ever since she was trained by a doctor there she has been doing nurse work and she admits that while she likes medicine that she would much rather be doing the procedures rather than cleaning up after them. Her education wasn't all that great. Nothing like if Tsunade had trained her. That would have been awesome. But no, she had outdated textbooks and a doctor with a very shady record as her teacher. She always learned first aid and things that a nurse should do instead of how to fix the problem. It is frustrating her out of her mind. She rounds the corner to her apartment complex and walks in front of the Yamanaka flower shop. Hey backstabber, Sakura hears. She already knows who it is and doesn't even turn to look at her. Hey Ino, ripped apart any hearts today? Sakura, know to how tired she is, rounds on Ino. That was more than 3 years ago. Can't you let it go? Ino stares at Sakura. I will let it go when Naruto does. We all have agreed on that. This is your punishment that Naruto won't give you. Do you even want to apologize? Do you feel any remorse for destroying one of the nicest people in the village? Sakura doesn't back down. It's not like you treated him any better than I did. You hit him and yelled at him too. Ino slaps Sakura across the face. Do not compare you to me to make yourself feel better. I may not have been the nicest person to him but I never belittled him, I never tried to get away from him, and I never had the impact that you did. I may have been head over heels for Sasuke but I wasn't mean to others because of it. Ino continues her hate on Sakura rant, drawing attention from the other Rookie 11. Lee never actively participates in goading Sakura but he doesn't talk to her. Tenten, Shikamaru, Neji, Choji, Kiba, and Hinata take every opportunity to make her feel guilty. Shino still talks to her just because he doesn't want her committing suicide but he still wholeheartedly agrees that what she did was wrong. Sakura turns away from her ex-friends and walks to her apartment. On her door is written, Uchiha slut, and backstabber, with some kind of fire jutsu. She opens the door and collapses on her couch. On the floor just inside the door is her daily fan mail. It turns out a lot of people actually enjoyed what she did and thank her on a daily basis for making the demon disappear. She falls asleep on the couch, wondering when Naruto will come back so she can finally get some of her friends back. Next morning, Naruto slowly wakes up feeling better than he has in a very long time. Like a giant weight has been lifted off his mind and chest, cliché I know. He tries to sit up but is weighed down. He opens his eyes and what he sees makes his eyes bulge. Hiromi and Q are both stark naked and using him as a pillow, their massive assets pushed into his bare chest. The covers are pulled back to show their naked torsos. He feels all their legs tangled together so much that he has to lift up the covers to make sure he is still wearing something. Turns out he isn't. He falls back on the bed, unable to get up, and his mind drifts to the events of last night. He is engaged. They have sworn to never leave him. He doesn't have to worry. His heart feels much lighter after last night. Unable to contain himself, he puts his arms around both his ladies and squeezes. Both mumble in their sleep and cuddle closer into him. He just hugs both of them to him, not minding the slightest bit that he feels all four nipples harden and graze across his chest. Eventually, though, he hears a knock at the door. "Hey Q-chan, Hiromi-chan, I need to get up. There is someone at the door." "5 more minutes, Naru-kun," Hiromi says cutely. QB says something along the same lines but more aggressive, "Stay still so I can pounce you." Naruto sighs and tickles both of them until they wake up. They sit up using their hands, still half asleep. Their breasts hanging for all to see. "Good morning, Naru-kun," Hiromi says before yawning. After she does, her mind kicks in and realizes that she and QB are naked in Naruto's bed, whom is equally as naked. Another knock at the door, this time more urgent. "Damn whoever it is. I'll burn them alive," QB threatens as she gets up and summons some clothes. She exits the bedroom and answers the door to their hotel room. Outside is a fully dressed Mei. "Oh, good morning Q-san. I'm just here to inform you guys of a change of plans for today." QB nods and lets Mei in. Just then Hiromi steps out of Naruto's room wearing only a bra and matching panties. "I'll be in the shower Q," is all she says before entering the bathroom. Mei looks from the bathroom door and back to QB and notices exactly what she is wearing. A silk robe that is loosely tied in the front and nothing on underneath. "Are you guys really that comfortable walking around like that with a guy in the same hotel room as you?" she asks. QB gives her a small glare. "Of course we are. We have known him for more than 3 years and we know he won't do anything if we don't want him to. And trust me when I say that he is always welcome to look at us." Mei blushes at her comments. "So what is this change of plans?" QB asks. "Well, the other Jonin was called back to Kiri, so I am the only one here for security. I know you guys were wanting to go to the next town today, but it would be too dangerous." QB nods her understanding. Suddenly the door that Hiromi just came out of opens and a fully dressed Naruto, complete with half mask and glasses, steps out. "It's here. Come on." QB immediately steps into another room and after a minute comes out completely dressed and carrying the bags. She pokes her head into the bathroom and says a few words that Mei can't make out before closing the door and stepping into the main living room. "What's here? What are you talking about?" Mei asks. "It's too long to explain right now," is all Naruto says. It isn't his normal toneless voice, but full of excitement and anticipation. As Mei stares down Naruto, Hiromi exits the bathroom, her hair very wet and wearing short sleeves and shorts. The three of them walk out the door and Mei is left with nothing to do but trail them. Naruto leads them out of the village and walks in a single direction at a fast pace. Naruto keeps on walking. Neither Hiromi nor QB complain or ask where it is that they are going. "Where are we going? This isn't safe and you're not authorized to leave the area," Mei half threatens. "Well then do something Terumi-san," Naruto says without turning around. Mei wants to, but the key coming off of Hiromi and Q suggests that if she tires something that it will not end well for her. Eventually Naruto stops in front of fairly large rock. He touches it briefly before speaking. "This is the oldest rock on the island. Over the years it has been whittled away for building material, by storms, and by wind. It was once a mountain but this is all that remains." He cuts his hand and puts it on the stone. The rock seems to vibrate for a second before it sinks into the ground, revealing a stairway behind it. Naruto leads the way down the tunnel before speaking. "Saijin. Tengoku no Kari. Sage style. Heaven's light." A ball of fire makes its way into existence and hovers over Naruto, giving off a tremendous amount of light. Hiromi and QB follow him without a moment's hesitation. Mei on the other hand looks torn. She should report this breach of security, and whatever this hole in the ground is but another part of her wants to follow and find out exactly what is down there. Her curiosity wins and she delves down into the dark passageway, figuring that it is better to be able to report what is down there instead of saying she doesn't know. She quickly catches up to Naruto and the others and they walk for a good amount of time. Suddenly the walls fall away and they are left standing inside a giant cavern not unlike the one in Hai no Kuni. Naruto raises the orb of fire and makes it brighter, but he soon wishes he hadn't. The light seems to have awoken something. Naruto can hear it moving around in the darkness. He pulls out his sword and cuts his finger and wipes the blood on the sword. Mei looks away as the sword produces an enormous amount of light, illuminating much of the cavern. But it is so bright that nobody can see anything, so Naruto tapers off the light and sends 3 more orbs of fire into the cavern and expand their size and brightness. That illuminates the cavern entirely at levels in which they can see. Mei wants to scream. In front of her is a massive and grotesque creature. It has 3 arms that are monstrous in size, 2 heads, 4 feet, and a hide that looks very tough. Who dares enter my cavern? The creature beckons with the left head. I do. Uzumaki Naruto, heir to the Sage of 6 Paths. Let me pass and take what is rightfully mine. Mei looks at him with wide eyes. The creature laughs. Heir to the sage, I guess I should bow or something, or I could eat you and gain some of that power myself. It seems that the left head is where the brains are because the right one just drools and has a stupid expression on its face. Be careful. This is an A- class demon, one of the oldest made from the Jubi's own flesh, Kyubi informs them. The demon looks at the red-haired woman and begins to laugh. This is too much. To see the mighty Kyubi no Yoko reduced to a mere human in stature. Ha ha ha. Oh, if Jubi-sama could only see this. Once again, Mei's eyes go wide. She is a Biju. Just who is this woman? She has been around for 3 weeks. Mei suddenly realizes that she knows very little about these people. Several tick marks appear on Kyubi's head. I'll show you reduced. You should remember why I am the greatest of demons. Mei backs up as red Yoki surrounds Kyubi. She grows fur and ears and 9 tails and grows in size. Soon Kyubi is at full mast, being half as tall as the cavern. She lets loose a mighty roar that shakes the cavern, her tail swaying dangerously behind her. The demon doesn't seem so confident now. To think that the ruler of demons is running around with a human, the heir of the person who created her no less. He assumed that since she lowered herself so much that she had lost her power or at least enough to be defeated. His assumption seems to be incorrect. The demon starts chanting some weird and archaic language, but only seconds after he starts, 9 tails wrap around him, forcing him to stop. Now, I can't have you running away now, can I? Tell me, what is your name, Ninningen? She growls menacingly. It's Relgios, he chokes out. Well, Relgios, I suggest that you don't judge a book by its cover. And at that, Kyubi literally rips apart the demon. Gore and body chucks go everywhere. Once all the pieces of the demon are motionless on the floor, voids that no words can do justice in how black they are appear under each section, and arms appear and drag each piece into the voids. In seconds, the only evidence of what happened is the blood and the stench. Meanwhile, Kyubi returns to her human form but still has her tails and ears. She walks over and gives Naruto a hug for some reason. Are you okay? Naruto asks her. Kyubi nods. I'm just a bit shaken. Those portals only appear when the ruler of the demon world summons someone. Our friend is now being put back together and then spewing what he knows to the ruler after me. Add to the fact that I am not only at near full strength but out of the seal means that demons will be coming for us. And why is that? Hiromi asks. Because they fear me, and when they learn Naruto's heritage and abilities they will fear him too. Demons don't like it when other beings are more powerful than them. Don't forget that he is the descendant of the most powerful human ever to exist. They will head us off at the other tombs, so we must be on our guard. Naruto nods and takes her hand and leads her towards the tablet. The usual inscription is on the tablet and Naruto is about to set his hands on it. Kyuubi and Hiromi are standing behind him, ready for what is next. What the fuck is going on here? They turn to see a very confused Mei. She is in a fighting stance and looks like her fight or flight is deciding which one it wants. Hiromi-chan, would you mind explaining the circumstances to Terumi-san please? I need to get this over with. Hiromi nods and moves to talk to Mei. Naruto takes in a deep breath and places his palms against the cold rock. Instantly he feels his mind being probed. He doesn't resist, but it isn't exactly a pleasant feeling. Then he feels the skin of his hands get either evaporated or eaten by the rock and his blood seeps into the stone. He stays like that for a good while, Kyuubi behind him ready to help him when the time comes. Hiromi approaches Mei, who backs away. Come sit, Hiromi orders. Mei's only response is to back away at a faster pace. I said sit, Hiromi roars, using her full voice, commanding Mei to obey. Hiromi's eyes turn to golden slits and her skin grows a light covering of scales for an instant. Very hesitantly Mei sits where Hiromi directed, feeling that if she didn't that her life would be in danger if she disobeyed. Who and what the fuck are you people? Mei asks. Well, demands. Well, long story short, I'm a dragon, Naruto summons. Q is the Kyuubi no Yoko that attacked Konoha 17 years ago. And Naruto was Q's host until a few years ago when he found a safe way to release her. Naruto is of the Uzumaki clan. Turns out they hold the legendary Rinnegan in their blood and are direct descendants of the Raikudo Sennin. He split his power between his sons and left these tombs behind to reactivate the full bloodline in times of need. This is the third of 6 tombs that we have been to. Mei is silent in thought. So you're not actually a human? Hiromi nods but puzzled as to why out of all the things she said, Mei would pick that to question. Mei seems to relax visibly. And why would my species be of any consequence to you? Hiromi asks guardedly. Well, because that means that Naruto is still free. I mean, dragons and demons only have relationships with their own species. I was afraid that he was already taken and there is no way I can compete with your bodies. Hiromi doesn't know whether to be insulted, angry, or thank her for the compliment. So she goes, well, all three. First of all, I don't know where you got your sources, but both Q and I are engaged to Naruto. Second, I'm offended that you would insinuate that our species are that shallow. Sure, for the most part we mate with our own species, but the same thing can be said for humans. You tend to mate with people of same skin color, background, and physical appearance. So don't you judge and make assumptions about us when you have nothing to back up those claims. Before either can continue, Naruto gives a grunt of pain. Mei turns to look at him, but Hiromi is already at his side. Q nods to Hiromi and not 10 seconds later Naruto is almost violently launched from the rock. Both catch him and set him down, his head in Hiromi's lap. They wait for several minutes before Naruto's eyes flutter open and their heart jump as they see a smile on his face. That has to be the best way to wake up, looking up at 2 angels. Both girls blush wildly, making Naruto chuckle. Tears of happiness that he is finally allowing himself to feel and act on those feeling again. He finds himself glommed by the 2 gorgeous women. Mei look on, jealousy evident in her eyes. Terumi-san, some water please. Mei starts at being addressed. It then turns to confusion at what he wants. She brings such confusion to light. I need water from a jutsu. It doesn't matter which one, he says, still hugging and getting hugged from both sides. Mei doesn't know why she suddenly wants to grant his request, but she does. She turns to the side to fire the jutsu at a wall when Naruto stops her. No, towards us. Don't worry about it. Mei's eyebrow quirks but gives in. She forms several hand signs and takes a deep breath. Sweden. Sujinheki. Water release. Water encampment wall. A torrent of water bursts from Mei's mouth, but instead of going up like the jutsu normally does, it all rushes forward in a straight, pressurized stream. Naruto holds up a hand and the water stops. It just stops in mid-air. Naruto makes another gesture and the water rises into the air, even higher. Suddenly he releases control from the middle outward, creating a ripple effect of rain. So, Kyubi asks, not bothering to hide her true voice. It worked. I have control over water and gravity too. I can change the direction of gravity and how severe the pull is. Plus I have some interesting new jutsu. Naruto gets up from the girls and walks to the stone and begins to read. During the time of the Jubi's reign of terror, it created all manner of creatures that we know today as demons. It was after making Lucifer that the sage sealed the Jubi. Lucifer is said to have a third of the Jubi's power, taken directly from the Jubi's reserves. This left the Jubi weaker than usual. While it was still weak, the sage battled it and sealed it. Since the Biju were created from the Jubi's yoki, they are classified as demons. Biju are offspring of the Jubi. Right before the sage died, he divided up the power between 9 entities. These beings are made of masses of sentient chakra called yoki that can morph into any shape they desire. While they can change shape, the sage modeled their personalities after certain animals, the most well-known being Kyubi no Yoko and the Nibi no Bakeneko. The Ikibi and the Gobi are unknown as to why they act the way they do or as to what personality they were molded after. The ranking system coincides with the number of tails the Biju has, which is an indication of how much chakra a Biju has. A single tail is worth 2 cage level reserves, so the Kyubi has 18 times the amount of chakra a cage has. But Biju don't have chakra, they have yoki, which is very conductive or supercharged chakra. It is twice as powerful as human chakra and is used at a smaller rate since it takes less to perform a technique. If a Biju is sealed inside a living object, one of 2 things will happen. 1. If the object is young enough to not have fully developed chakra coils, then the Biju's yoki will leak into the forming coils, making the chakra very powerful. How much is leaked is dependent on how far along the coils were when the Biju was sealed. 2. If the coils have already formed, then the yoki will slowly kill the individual since the body won't absorb it and adapt to it like the younger Jinchuriki. In order to not die, the Jinchuriki must become a Hanyu, or half-demon. A Biju may use its yoki to have a real body. The yoki solidifies and becomes flesh until the yoki is called to become something else. The Biju may engage in the act of procreation if they wish, but none have ever done so and the results are unknown or if an offspring is even possible. As the personality is based off of an animal, the personality will lean towards either male or female. They can choose to be either, but will always prefer the gender of the animal they were modeled after. Naruto stops reading and lets the information sink in. Well, that was informative. Nothing I didn't already know. You may not have, but certainly was an educational experience for the rest of us, Hiromi adds. Naruto sighs and walks away from the rock, straight towards Mei. This is what we came to find. We will be leaving next week for Konoha. Please keep this a secret as it can start a war between our villages. Mei is torn between duty and her desire to obey Naruto. Naruto sees her having trouble and decides to make it easier on her. He knows you have a bloodline. Mei's eyes go wide. I do not know why he has not done anything about it yet, but I feel that it is close to when he will do something. If you don't want to die, I suggest you find an exit from the Mizukage's services. Mei's lip is trembling. She knows why Yugara hasn't done anything yet. It is because he used her. Used her power, her bloodline status to hunt down the bloodline clans, thinking they would be safe with her only to stab them in the back. And all that service, all the effort to stay here is all for nothing. Just for something she has no control over. Every face of every person she has ever killed flashes before her. Their betrayed faces, their looks of surprise. One even smiled at her before the life left his eyes. Tears threatened to spill from her eyes. What should I do? She chokes out. She is having trouble keeping the tears back. You fight. You take the initiative and you fight for what you believe in. Kyubi eggs her on. I don't suggest you do anything rash, but I do think you need to plan quickly. We can help you, if you are willing to keep this a secret, Naruto offers. Mei weighs her options, not that there were many. She looks to Naruto. She loses a battle to keep a blush down as a thought comes to her. Could I came with you to Konoha? She asks shyly. Hiromi and Kyubi are instantly on guard. While they knew Mei had at least some interest in Naruto, never before has she ever acted or voiced it outside of a half hour ago. They are prepared to spring into action to keep Naruto safe if he should fall for someone not so dedicated as they are. Fortunately, they are spared as Naruto shakes his head. That is not an option. It would look like you defected and worked as a spy for Konoha, and that might start a war. You could always join up with the rebels. With your knowledge of the shinobi the Mizukage has, locations of high-value targets, and weaknesses in and around Kiri. Mei looks at the ground. That isn't an option. They know I work for the Mizukage and would never be accepted into their ranks. I would hold too much of a threat of being a spy. Then why don't you go to them and give them all you know and then ask for the lowest ranking member in their forces? Show them that you are sincere and never ask for a promotion or advancement. Be humble and honest. They might never accept you fully, but as long as you are fighting for what you believe in, it won't matter, Hiromi offers. Mei thinks hard about it. It would be better than serving a deranged madman hell-bent on genocide. It would be very tough being jutsu fodder though. No need to lie about what her occupation would be. That is really all low-level ninja are for, tiring out or slowing down enemy forces, and she would be front and center for that. But there would be a chance for advancement, even if she doesn't ask for it. If things don't work out, then she can always leave Mizu no Kuni and head for someplace looking for a highly skilled ninja with a bloodline. I'll go to the rebels, but I don't know how to contact them. On top of that, I have to escape when security is low. Kyubi smirks. I've been thinking about that. Time skip. 5 days. It is 2 days before Naruto and his survey group finish with their assessment. Right now they are being escorted by Mei and another Jonin to the next and last town on their stop. Naruto and the girls had explained the entire situation, minus Naruto's father, to Mei. She had been curious about how he knew where exactly the tomb was. Naruto shrugged and told her that he is drawn to it and he can't explain it further. Hiromi stumbles over a branch that was hidden in the tall brush. Mei sees this. It is the agreed-upon signal. Mei trudges up from the back of the group and pulls aside the Jonin leading them. Suddenly a kunai finds its way into the man's heart. He drops dead in the grass. Alright, now to make a convincing battleground. Hiromi, Q, you both know what to do. Both women nod and they take action. While Kyubi begins tearing specific parts of her clothes into strips, Hiromi sharpens her nails and tears both her and Kyubi's clothes. Once Kyubi is done, she retrieves the corpse of the Jonin and smears blood on the places where Hiromi cut their clothes. Afterwards they tie the strips into makeshift bandages and makes those bloody as well, like it absorbed blood from a wound. Once they have convincing wounds and bandages, they ruffle their clothes and rub dirt and mud into their skin and hair. Once done they hand over their notes to Mei but keep the copies of the actual economic conditions of the villages they visited. Like the Mizukage would just allow them to walk out of Kiri with detailed notes of defenses and important buildings. Meanwhile Naruto channels his chakra and goes through a long series of hand signs. Kaden. Karyu Enden. Fire Release. Fire Dragon Flame Bullet. Once more Naruto's flaming dragon appears and burns the surrounding foliage before colliding with the ground. Naruto lets the inferno rage on before he channels more chakra. Onetsuse. Kami no Hegera. Thermal Release. Ashes of God. The white flames spread from Naruto's mouth gently and slowly spread into the surrounding area. Whatever the flames touch, it is disintegrated. After vaporizing enough of the place to make a convincing story, Naruto turns to see how Hiromi and Mei are progressing. Mei is shooting technique after technique into the surrounding areas. Most of them are water techniques, but she adds in a few Yoden and Futen jutsu. She makes sure to use Komu no Jutsu as that would be very evident to the surrounding areas. Before she did that though, she had spread dozens of kunai around the place, some with smeared blood on them. Satisfied, she turns to regroup and a pang of jealousy hits her. Naruto is helping tie a bandage over Hiromi's stomach, and judging from the satisfied look on Kyuubi's face, he just helped her tie the one around her bust with the knot right in the middle of her breasts. So, that does it. Now we just need to send the letter to the Mizukage. Naruto says more to himself than the others. This had been planned to the last detail with 3 contingency plans as backup. One had been if the Jonin hadn't been killed and made an escape. Another one is if they had been followed by Anbu. And the last one had been if Mei really had been loyal to the Mizukage and this was just a charade. Mei didn't know about the last one. Mei rejoins the group, Mei still acting shyly. I guess this is goodbye. Maybe once this war is done I will come to Konoha. Naruto gives her a nod. Maybe. Take care Terumi-san. He holds out his hand, which Mei takes and gives it a firm grip and shake before she turns and jumps into the trees. Kyuubi watches Naruto's face. You like her, don't you? Naruto turns to her, an unreadable expression on his face. Perhaps as a friend, but I won't allow myself to feel something for someone past a friend without assurances. Hiromi and Kyuubi hug Naruto from both sides, to which he pulls them closer. As much as Naruto wants to stay like that, they must move on. Come on. Those jutsu are sure to attract others. Time skip. Next day. Care to explain what happened? A very ticked Yugara asks. As soon as he received the letter, he sent no less than 4 high-level Jonin ninjas. They brought the Konoha team directly to his office. It is just as the letter explains. We were traveling between villages when Jonin number 315 walked up to the other Jonin and stabbed him through the heart with kunai. Then a group of rebels attacked us. Hiromi-san and Q-san were hit several times with the barrage of kunai they threw. I then retaliated and vaporized the rebels who were dumb enough to stand in a group. Jonin number 315 then tried to engage me, but I forced her to retreat. I could not pursue as my charges were injured. Once we arrived at the town, I administered first aid. Luckily most of the wounds are superficial and not very deep. Yugara growls lowly. This smells of a setup, but beyond the gut feeling, he has nothing to go on. He had sent people to examine the battle site and it indeed looked as though a small war was fought. On top of that, Q and Hiromi, from his shinobi's account, had been dirtied and injured. While it would be possible to fabricate, it would be difficult. Add Yugara's paranoia to the fact that he has received no intel that a squad of rebels was in the area. But everything he has is circumstantial, nothing that would justify holding the official representatives of a cage. Very well. Please hand over your notes for inspection as you leave. We will have a boat prepared to leave tomorrow at 8 a.m. Naruto, Hiromi, and Kyuubi bow low. Thank you Mizukage-sama. Once Q and I present our findings and recommendations to Hokage-sama, we will send you a copy so you may improve upon your economy, Hiromi says. Let it be known that Hiromi is actually very good at economics, as she runs her village. Being good with money and knowing how to either improve or stabilize is a necessity. More importantly, she knows how to make convincing notes that have nothing to do with Kiri's economy. Very well. Dismissed. Time skip. 3 weeks later. The boat pulls up the harbor just outside of Waves. All 3 get off the boat and stretch. It has been a long time since they were on solid ground. Hiromi smirks. How about we skip the walking and get right to Konoha? Naruto looks at her with a confused look. And how are we going to do that? Hiromi looks at him in disbelief. Did you forget that I'm a dragon? I can fly. I could probably carry Kyuubi in her fox form. Naruto smacks himself on the head. Sorry, but with you being in human form so long that I forgot that you aren't a human. Hiromi puts her arms around his neck and pulls him close. That's okay. I'm just glad I got to spend time with you. Before she can continue, Kyuubi bounds into his back. No tender moments without me. She exclaims. Dear Cammy, what have I gotten myself into?